Hey y'all, welcome to the Farmer's Table. My name is Jess. If you are new here, I'm so glad you're here. And if you're not new here, welcome back. I'm glad you're here too. Today we are about to go through the largest Azure standard haul that I have ever ordered. I have, I think it's a little close to 600 pounds of food here on my kitchen table right now that we're going to open, go through. I'm going to tell you about some of my favorite things. So if you're unfamiliar with what Azure Standard is, it is a food buying co-op. When I first discovered this, it's probably been, it's hard for me to remember. It's probably been about 15 years ago. And at that time, buying this stuff, being able to buy it at better prices and even have it available to me was a really big deal, because back then the only places I ever saw where I lived this kind of food, like organic health food, stuff like that, was at these tiny health food stores that were usually privately owned, but were really out of my budget. And so being able to find better prices on the things that I wanted to purchase was really awesome. Since then, a lot of the things that I like to buy are widely more available now, but I still do order multiple things from Azure, and I'm going to go through today and tell you some of my favorite stuff. Now, the way my grocery budget works, of course, we grow a lot of our food. I budget $300 a month for Azure Standard, and the way it works is you go on, you place your order. I will put a link to this, to their thing, and I think you get $25 if you use my link. I get $25 if you use my link. In this order today, I spent, it was $1,100, so it's the most I've ever spent in 1 month, and that was after having 2 referral codes. So I got $50 off, plus I had a little bit of, like, they have what's called Azure Cash. If you buy certain products, it's like a rebate that you get on your next order, and I think I probably had about $25 of Azure Cash. So this is closer to a $1,200 order, but I normally budget $300 a month. When you go to order, they will tell you about the week that you have to pick it up. So the way it works, since it's a food buying co-op, is you have what's called a drop director, and you join a drop. The one that I go to is in Gilbert, South Carolina. It's about 30 minutes from my house. It's just the closest one. And your drop director will email you. Basically, you place your order through Azure, and they give you the week that it's going to be delivered. This is a little inconvenient, honestly. This is like my one thing that's like, I don't love it, but for me, it's still worth going through the inconvenience of this. I think we're a little spoiled by convenience, so I can suck up my complaining on this. So they'll tell you the week that it's going to come in, but you do not know the day or the time that it is going to come in during that week. And when your drop coordinator emails out saying it will be in during this date and time, you'll have a drop location. Like mine's actually at like this big parking lot behind a truck stop. And you go, you meet the semi truck there, and the drop coordinators there, as well as all the other people who ordered. Everybody unloads the truck together, divvies up all the stuff. Your name is obviously on the boxes of what you ordered, and you load it up and go home. So for me, if I look at the week that it's going to be dropping, if I know I have something else going on, if I'm going to be out of town during those days, if there's any chance I'm not going to be able to make it to the drop and I don't have somebody that can pick my order up for me, I just skip ordering that month, and I save my budget and roll it into the next month. So the reason this order is so large is I actually haven't ordered from Azure in probably like 5 or 6 months, and I was out of a lot of things. Typically what I try to do, keeping that $300 a month budget, is like 1 month I'll order lots of cheese, and then the next month I'll order, lots of wheat berries or dry pastas or whatever, and that way I'm just buying everything on rotation, because I'm buying it by the case. I store it in my pantry and go through it, and by doing that rotation I don't run out of things. I'm just using through them while they're still fresh, and I don't have anything going bad. I was out of a lot of stuff this time, hence the huge order. All right, so first things, I did decide to try some of their canning jars. So these are 1.5 jars, regular mouth, and these are wide mouth 1.5 jars. I was always really adamantly like ball jars only for a really long time, but I have found after COVID that the quality of ball jars, in my opinion, has gone down. Like, I've had more jars break from them that I have purchased after COVID than I ever did have happened before. So I decided I would just try these. You can opt to buy them with or without the lids and rings. So if you have plenty of lids and rings, you just want to use what you have, they are cheaper to buy that way. They come with the Superb brand lids, which I've had good experience with those. They have a lot of the compound that makes them set, so you get good seals. And I was interested in this 1.5 size, and I thought that it would be just obviously a nice in between the pint and the quart. I think that these would be a really good size for like jelly and stuff like that. I think our family could get through them quickly enough. But yeah, so I got a case of each of those. I went ahead and opted to get them with lids and rings because I just wanted to see what it was like. And the price of these was cheaper than the ball jars, or you know, just going to Walmart or whatever and buying a case of jars. And I'm very curious of the quality, so I'm going to do some canning with these. I've read good things about them, but I can't attest to it. I love this size of jar. I do have some of these from another brand, the 1.5, that's the wide mouth. These make really good glasses if you like drinking out of mason jars. The next thing, I got a case of the organic tomato paste. This is 24 little cans of tomato paste. Obviously I grow a lot of tomatoes. I can our diced tomatoes. I can lots of sauce. I'll do like pureed tomatoes and spaghetti sauce and salsa. But I don't make tomato paste or ketchup typically because they just take a lot of tomatoes and cooking them down. So I usually just focus on making all the other stuff, and I buy these. I literally just used my last can of that the other day and I was like, okay, I really need that order to come in. Here I got a case of coconut milk, and I also got a case of coconut cream. These are organic, and I like the fact that they don't have any guar gum in them, so they're just like better ingredient. Oh, you can see, just like when I'm looking at prices of things on Azure to decide how many to order, I will look at the price per ounce and decide if it's worth it to order a case. Sometimes it's not, but in most cases, when you're buying stuff like this, like the cans of tomato paste or this, you're going to get a significantly cheaper price by going ahead and buying the whole case. How long this will last me really depends on what recipes I'm really fixed on. Like I'll get really fixed on doing like a curry or something like that, and we'll go through coconut milk and cream a lot faster. Sometimes this will last for several months because we're not getting through it a ton. Obviously though, it lasts for a long time, so it's going to be fine on my pantry shelf. So sometimes you buy cases and it is just in the case that the original packaging is in. Sometimes whenever you buy like random things, they will repack them. So some of these I'm opening boxes and it's all the same thing. Some of them are going to be a mix. All right, so this is an entire case of this mozzarella. I can make mozzarella cheese from our cows, and I do sometimes make mozzarella cheese from our cows, but mozzarella is one of the cheeses that we really do go through a lot. We do like homemade pizza nights pretty regularly. The kids will do like quesadillas and things like that, and having it packaged and ready to go where they can easily shred it and use it is just easy. So cheeses are one of the things with Azure that buying them by the case does significantly reduce the prices. And if you're buying like grass-fed or raw cheeses and stuff like that, going to a grocery store, if they even have those products, they're usually very expensive. So I do find this definitely worth it. Making more cheese is definitely on my list this year of things that I really want to get more into. I've not done hard cheeses like at all, but obviously we have enough milk, and that's something I would really like to stop buying. The best by date on these is September of 2026. Obviously cheese is, it's fine, I mean, you got a little time after the best by date. Oh, I will do like a big cheese haul from Azure about every 6 months. And between what I make, what we have, we're able to like really make that stretch. All right, the next case I got was cream cheese. I really like this cream cheese. It's a little different than what you'd be used to if you're buying block cream cheese at the store. They call it farmhouse cream cheese. This is Sierra Nevada brand. They do a lot of like really natural cheeses and organics. This cream cheese tastes like when you make cream cheese at home. It's a little on the crumblier side. It's not as smooth as store-bought cream cheese. It doesn't have any sort of like gums or stabilizers in it. It is literally just, let's see, cultured whole milk, organic cream, and sea salt. So really basic, good ingredients. I like this. I like baking with it anytime that I'm making something that calls for cream cheese. And then of course my kids, we like to make bagels and stuff like that. They'll put cream cheese on toast, and we go through a pretty good bit of cream cheese. Again, something that is on my list to start making more of, but if I'm gonna buy it, I like buying one that is good quality. One more cheese order. Sometimes I spend my entire Azure budget for the month on cheeses and stuff. This is raw milk cheddar. Same brand, Origin Creamery. So a lot of times they'll have sales on different brands. I think my last big Azure order was mostly cheese, and so I actually still have a little bit of cheese in my fridge. A couple of things I have had to buy at the store because we were out of. But when I go on and I'll see like a certain brand is 10 or 15% off if they got a special, or if they've got a special where they're doing like more Azure cash on the brand, so it's a rebate for the next month, I'll go ahead and buy that brand. So I don't remember ever buying this brand before. If I have, I don't remember it, but I'm sure it's good. I bought it because it was the most affordable one. Okay, so my last refrigerated item. This was a complete splurge, and I'm not going to say completely unnecessary, but somewhat unnecessary. We have dairy cows, and of my cows, I have one named Freya, and she produces so much cream in her milk. Like half the jar is cream. And when Freya is in milk, I make copious amounts of butter. I mean, tons and tons of butter. I put it in the freezer, all of that. At this point, Freya has been out of milk for several months, and Helen is the cow that we have in milk. And we call Helen the creamless, because sadly, especially over winter, her cream line is like this. Like it's next to nothing. So I'm not making any butter during that time. With the grass coming on right now, her cream line is growing, so that's good. We have gotten through all the butter that was in the freezer, and I have even, had to buy store-bought butter over the last couple months because we did not have enough cream. But it is coming back on. However, I bought a Splurge. This butter is absolutely my favorite purchased butter ever. Now, homemade butter is fantastic. This is the only butter I've ever purchased that tastes like homemade butter. The texture, it's almost like cheesy in texture. It's really thick. And this called Petaluma Gold is the brand. It's European style fresh salted butter. The first time I bought this from Azure, it was on sale, and so I was like, well, I'll go ahead and try this. And I got it, and I went to cut it, and I'm like, is this butter or cheese? And at the time, I was just completely bewildered by it. It was before I had dairy that we were making, and before I was making butter from cow's milk at home. Now, I'm just so spoiled to butter from cow's milk at home that this is nice. Now, it's pretty expensive butter. The box was on sale, and I want to say it was still like in the $90 range for a case. So it basically makes these blocks, which are 1 pound each, about 8 or 9, I think it was about $8 if I'm remembering correctly. So I guess really if you're buying something like Kerrygold at the store, that probably equals out to be a very similar price. But I think Kerrygold's expensive too. I mean, it's good butter, and this is really great butter. So I got this. These, I mean, sell by 3/30/28. They're in these really good sealed containers in the fridge. They last a really long time. And the last time I ordered one of these cases, which was a similar thing, it was like in winter when we weren't making our own butter, it lasted months between, as I started making butter again. So I'm excited about this. My favorite thing to do with this, like really good butter, is to cut a bit of it and put it inside, like cut a date open and take the pit out and put this inside of it and just eat a date stuffed with butter. So good. This box, I'm pretty sure this is just a whole case. Yeah. I don't want to take everything out of the boxes because I gotta carry it out to the pantry. I just brought it all in here so I can show you guys. One thing I always buy from Azure is condiments. As I mentioned, that's one thing I don't really make a whole lot of. I'll make a whole grain mustard. That's really good, but I just buy like plain condiments from here. This is organic ketchup. It's tomato concentrate, sugar, distilled vinegar, salt, onion powder, and spices. It's got 3 grams of added sugar, so it's not just like a ton of sugar, and it is organic, therefore it's non-GMO and all of that. So I buy this by the case. This is 9 bottles in this case. They're big. This will last us. This will go through the summer and all of the like summer cooking out and all that stuff. That's something that I actually ran out of from my last order and had to buy at the store. And it's so hard because so many of them at the store have like corn syrup, or if you are buying a better one, the price is really high. This ends up being a much better deal for a quality product. Oh, I was like, more canning jars, but no, they just reuse the box. Okay. So here I have an entire case of creamy peanut butter. You can see here. You have options if you pay attention when you are ordering from Azure. And sometimes you have the option to purchase products in plastic, or you have the option to purchase them in glass. It's usually just a fragment more for the glass, but the jars that they use are the same as their canning jars, so you can save them and can in them. So I always choose the glass option. I prefer my food to be in glass anyway, but also it's economical because I'm then paying just maybe 10 cents extra, 20 cents extra for the jar. So this peanut butter is really good. It's salted. It does separate a little bit, but not too bad. You do have to stir it a little bit. But it's just organic peanuts, salt, and that's it. So it doesn't have sugar, it doesn't have any hydrogenated oils or anything like that. Oh, I like to buy this by the case. We like creamy peanut butter. I'll eat a crunchy peanut butter. My kids prefer creamy, so that's what we do. All right, I got a few big bags. Let's see what I've got here. This is cane sugar, 25-pound bag of cane sugar. This is a 25-pound bag of Durham wheat berries. I want to start making fresh milled pasta. I've been doing lots of fresh milled breads and baked goods. I've not really made pasta yet, but Durham wheat is the one that is really the best for that. So a 25-pound bag of Thai jasmine white rice. That's my favorite rice. And over here, I've got 1 bag of hard red wheat berries. That's 50 pounds. I got a bag of hard white wheat berries, also 50 pounds, and a 50-pound bag of whole oat groats. All of these are organic. Anytime I'm buying grains, I typically will err on the side of buying the organic option. And when you're ordering from a place like Azure with grains, with beans, any thing that you're buying in these 50-pound bags, you have the option of regular versus organic, and you can see the price difference right there. And sometimes it's a little more significant, sometimes less so. These big bags of grains run in the like $30 to $35 range depending on what it is. I got the bag of oat groats because I'm actually looking at getting a flaker that you can attach to like a mixer. I've got my Bosch mixer. My friend Jody has one on her Ankerson mixer, and you just feed the oat groats in and it flakes them to make oatmeal and stuff like that. And with that, you get all of the same benefits of doing fresh milled grains, but with your oatmeal. And there's an oatmeal bread that I like to make as well, as my kids really like eating oatmeal. And I know there are some other places that you can buy wheat berries and things for freshly milling, as far as buying like 50-pound or 25-pound bags of beans and rice and stuff like that. There are places that you can go, but it's really hard to find organic ones in bulk. And I've compared the price that I'm paying at Azure for organic to, like, we have a restaurant supply store called US Food Chef Store that's open to the public, and that's like the other place that I'll go look for bulk items. But I typically end up paying less per pound for organic at Azure than I pay for conventional at the chef store. Again, I have the inconvenience of having to go pick it up, whereas at the chef store, I mean, I'm still having to go pick it up at the chef store, but I can go anytime I want during business hours rather than having to figure out, the drop-off times. But as far as price goes, I feel like this is better. All right, here I've got 4 different kinds of sauces. This is something I'll do on like my Azure rotation about once a year. So this set of sauces, I will purchase this once a year. I think I probably still have a couple of bottles out in the pantry from the last time I purchased this, which was probably about a year ago or maybe a little bit more. But I go ahead and buy these Sanjay sauces by the case. The first is tamari, which is brewed soy sauce, gluten-free soy sauce. I go ahead and get a case of those. So with these sauces, these are kind of like my cheat meal starter things. You know, maybe I'll take chicken thighs and I'll throw them in the crock pot with a jar of one of these, or we'll ground beef and put this on top, do ground beef, and then we'll pour this on top, and then I'll just throw rice in the rice cooker and some broccoli in the air fryer or in the oven, or throw the broccoli in with the sauce. I mean, like, I've done lots of different things here, but this is kind of like just a variation, because sometimes you get tired of eating a lot of the same things. This is Thai peanut. This is really, really good to make a cucumber salad with. If you chop up cucumbers, and I'll take a peeler and just peel a bunch of carrots in with it, maybe some like finely diced onions, and dress it with this sauce. And sometimes if I want it to be a little spicier, I'll add some more like chili crisp or something like that. It's very tasty. It's making my mouth water. This is an orange sauce. It's actually my first time to get this one. I've never had this before, but I make orange chicken and orange stuff at home. Of course, I've got to have orange juice, which is not something that I always keep. And so I figured this would be nice. That's one of Ben's favorite meals, so that's why I got that. And then this is sweet and tangy, which is kind of like a teriyaki-ish sweet and sour. And again, these 4 boxes, I won't buy these again for like a year. I want to say that these work up when you're buying a case to be in the like, I can't remember exactly what it is, $24 or something like that for a case. So for 6 bottles, they're coming up to be about $4 each. And for the fact that they're gluten-free, I think that's a pretty good price. I don't know what those cost us. I've never bought that stuff at the store, so I have no idea what they cost there, but I'm certain it's more than $4 a bottle. Okay, I don't know what this box is. So here I have lots of jars in here. This is mustard. Yellow mustard and Dijon mustard. Again, I always choose the glass option because then I'm getting a canning jar with it. With these, I have in the past bought cases. This time I looked at it and I want to say it was only like, I was only saving like a penny per ounce to buy it by the case, so I only bought 5 jars of each, and that will last us. I was trying to gauge it to last about as long as the ketchup would, and we go through more ketchup than that because I want to be able to keep my rotation so that whenever my $300 a month comes up and it's the month to stock up the condiments, I can just stock up all of them because we're more or less in the same place in the pantry. But yeah, these are just quart jars of these condiments. And I also got a couple of seasonings. Here I got apple pie spice. I love this apple pie spice that they do. And then I got a pumpkin pie spice. And then this is actually a 1-pound bag of spirulina powder. Confession, I bought this because there's this smoothie place in town that has this really cool blue smoothie and it's coconut milk, and it's so good, but it's like, I bought it twice. Once I had a coupon, second time I thought I had a coupon and it wasn't a good coupon. And it was like $11. And I was like, I have to figure out how to make that at home. Alright, so I'm going to have to check because I think I'm missing one thing. I just opened this and I think I'm almost to the end. I'll have to look. So one thing with Azure is sometimes things don't ship. If they go out of stock, even after you check your card out, they won't ship. It doesn't happen a ton. At least it hasn't happened for me a ton. But there may be like 1 item per order that doesn't ship. And that can be annoying, especially if you're trying to shop month to month. It's less so whenever you are stocking up and you're buying a year's worth of something because you just tack it on your next order. I don't like to wait until I'm out of things to repurchase them. I like to pay attention, and if I'm running low, it's like, okay, it's time to go ahead and make that the priority in my buying for the month. So here I have a gallon of old-fashioned molasses. I also ordered a quart of blackstrap molasses. So old-fashioned molasses is what comes from the first and the second boilings, and it's sweet. So this is what you would use in like bread and baking and stuff. Blackstrap molasses is from the 3rd boiling, and it is more bitter and pungent, but it has way more minerals. So that's what I put in chili. It's what I give to like my animals after they give birth for a mineral boost. So this is the gallon. The bread recipe I have uses, I think, like half a cup of this. So obviously worth buying a gallon. We'll get through it faster. But I only bought a quart of the other because I don't ever use much of it at a time. So the last box I have here I bought an entire case of quart honey jars, and this I think is where you can really see like the best savings from ordering from here. So the place I buy honey locally, there's a grocery store that sells a local honey brand in quart glass jars, and they're $14 a jar for a 3-pound jar, which is a quart. That's the cheapest I've found it locally. Now, if I can't get it there, and lately when I've gone there, they've been sold out, I will buy it at Costco, but I noticed that the container that I buy at Costco is plastic. And not only has the price gone up, the actual amount in the container has gone down. So shrinkflation on that. So this worked out to be in the glass 3-pound quarts. If you bought 12 of them, they were $10 each. So that's a pretty good price for honey. It's berry wildflower raw honey. It is good stuff. I have bought it before. So I have an entire case of these, and then of course they're in the quart jars with the nice reusable lids. You can get the honey at a cheaper price per ounce if you buy it in like gallon containers. They even have like a 5-gallon bucket. And it is a better savings. However, I have done that before. I've bought a 5-gallon bucket of honey and then separated it out into jars myself. And I just decided that buying this like pre-jarred and saving myself the trouble of that task, that very sticky, messy task, was worth spending the extra. Plus then I get the jars too, which that does account into what I'm spending in my opinion. So yeah, that is my whole order of stuff. I got lots of grains, sugar, lots of honey, some dairy, our condiments, the coconut milks, peanut butter, and butter. So yeah, I feel like this is pretty good value. It's a lot of food, and it's gonna last us for a while. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. God bless you. Until next time.